Okay, calm down, everyone. Stay in control. We got to get through this. And oh Lord, this you knew that something was gonna go on, but oh boy, let's just try to keep cool, keep things going, and keep our sanity. All right, what's going on, Apollo Nation? It's your boy here, Apollo, from down, down to up, up. I really want to sleep right now, but I'm waiting for this adrenaline to wear off from the latest installment of crazy wrestling shows titled Super ShowDown 2020. Back to Saudi Arabia we went, and oh dear Lord, what a time it was. What a time it was. So we're gonna review the show and try to keep our morale high, because at this point it can really only go up from here. Or can it? Oh boy, that doesn't sound too good, does it? But let's go. Let's try to get through this. All right, first off, they were cheeky lads, because last minute matches were announced. Very similar to Royal Rumble throwing three together at the last minute, but to be fair, that didn't happen at the Rumble this year. It happened here at this show, because from 7 matches, we went to a perfect 10. I wouldn't quite say perfect, but it gives me an excuse to represent Mr. Sean Spears. Love you. Um, so we got on the kickoff, and yes, there was a kickoff with a lot of this, but one match stood out, and it was the Viking Raiders versus the OC. A match that brought back memories of the disappointment from last year's Saudi Arabia show, Crown Jewel. They met up in the tag team turmoil to determine the best tag team in the world, and shocking to some, the Viking Raiders lost after coming out last and losing to the OC. One thing that got me to pop, though, the OC came out to their old music, and I am a fan of their older music. So if this is back on TV with them, I am a fan of that. That is my opinion. I respect yours, like I hope you respect mine. In the end, the match was okay, had its moments, but shockingly, maybe again to some, but not to me, more of a funny moment. The OC won again. That's right, the Raiders lost again. Magic Killer 1, 2, 3. The OC got the Viking Raiders number again, even though nothing to do with the Raw Tag Team Championships was on the line. So it was a funny moment. It brought back memories, and it really sort of ticked off one of my friends in a funny way. We joke, just like I hope all of you joke with your community, if you enjoy wrestling as much as I do. So back to the main card, though. We only had one match in the kickoff. The other 2 matches announced we'll get into later, but now we have 9. Let's get through this. Stay in control. Match that kicked us off was surprisingly the gauntlet match to determine the first ever T.A.T trophy winner. Started off with R-Truth, Fairstar, and Bobby Lashley. Now, my mind was telling me, wait a minute, 50-50 booking is a thing WWE loves to do. Does that mean R-Truth is going to beat Lashley? Because Lashley beat him on Raw. And fair enough, after a back-and-forth squabble, Lashley ran himself into the post like a dummy, fell over, waited for R-Truth to roll him up by the looks of it. He had his legs up and everything, and Truth wasn't doing anything for the split few seconds, but then Truth finally realized, oh, I should probably pin him and eliminate him. And to be fair, he did. R-Truth pinned and eliminated Bobby Lashley. Hilarious. Lashley attacked him after the match, and the referees, of course, are useless to get him off, so R-Truth went in a bit injured. Also, a nasty gash on the side. Looked like a boil or something was built up at the side of his face. I hope Truth is okay after this, because it didn't look fun. Also, his shoulder, hopefully just a working angle, though. He next was one-on-one with the returning United States champion, Andrade. Yes, the man who was suspended for 30 days due to breaking the WWE wellness policy. I can only imagine how, just like another cheeky man, Samoa Joe, has broken the same policy. Anyway, Andrade, still the United States champion, came out. It looked like easy pickings for Truth, but surprisingly, R-Truth was able to pick the win. Andrade went for his back elbow, but they bumped heads, and Truth was lucky enough to fall on Andrade for the pin. It was a fluke, but I like the creativity. Didn't hate that finish, honestly. It was okay. Our morale's high at this point. R-Truth is getting the push. Mwah, love him. He's delicious. Next up was Eric Rowan, and this looked like things were going to go downhill, but thankfully not for R-Truth, because Eric Rowan brought his stupid pet in the cage, the angle that will never have any good payoff, or hopefully no payoff, because that was my prediction at this point. R-Truth got knocked into the stairs where the cage was at. The cage fell down. Rowan was concerned about it. In the end, Rowan's angry. He picks up the steel stairs and hits R-Truth with the stairs. Gets disqualified, then delivers the Iron Claw, and then, Lord and behold, Who comes out next? It's AJ Styles. The man a lot of people picked to win this thing, including myself and just about every one of my friends I was watching the show with. He comes out looking to take care of R-Truth, and to be fair, after a bit of squabble, he puts in the calf crusher and Truth taps out. Good run for R-Truth. It was really fun to see him have a long program for this show, even though it didn't matter too much. It's just great to see R-Truth. He's a fun guy. He brings the energy. I'm never going to get sick of him. Pray to the Lord above I never get sick of him. So, then it seems like we're ready for the last match. AJ Styles, Rey Mysterio. Now, it was originally supposed to be Rusev, but due to either contract issues or a back injury or a fake back injury, I don't know what's going on. I don't work for WWE. Rey Mysterio subs in, so it looked like the return of Rey Mysterio after he was DDT'd on concrete by Angel Garza, I believe. And, well, not quite. Not quite, because in the back, you saw Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson beating him up. AJ was happy to take the forfeit win, but then we cut to the back, right in the middle of the referee's 10 count to give AJ the win. That's customary to do sometimes when there's a forfeit in place. Luke Gallows was on the ground hurt, and then Carl Anderson gets thrown on the ground, and you don't see who attacks them until you see two black boots and the black coat as the man walks by. The crowd is going nuts at this point. The rumors were true. Gong. The Undertaker was at Super ShowDown. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. AJ, Undertaker, destined, but wait a second. It got even weirder. Undertaker came out and was actually announced as the last competitor in this match. Without taking off his coat, without taking off his hat, he chokeslammed AJ Styles to hell. He did his customary pin and beat him with a chokeslam. He didn't even have to undress. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The Undertaker returned and won the gauntlet match for the Twang Trophy. He looked at the trophy smiled back at him, he growled at it, and then he walked to the back. Arm goes up, arm comes down, crowd's going nuts at this point. And I'm sitting there thinking, what exactly is this supposed to mean? Are we still getting Undertaker versus AJ Styles at WrestleMania? Was this just a one-off to tease everyone? I have no answers. But the thing is, you expect this crazy nonsense to happen at these shows, and it did. Undertaker returned. He beat AJ Styles with one chokeslam. That was pathetic in itself. But I can't hate the dead man for that. I hope he got well paid for coming out and giving one chokeslam. Some things you just gotta laugh at. This is one of them. This is so far the point of insanity to this show, but oh, it's gonna go higher, trust me. Let's try to get through the rest of it. So, main point, Undertaker won the gauntlet. I'm not sure what the future is for Undertaker Styles. Styles is supposed to be having a match with Aleister Black on Raw. Things are just going out of control. We'll see what happens in the future, but for now, Undertaker returned. He won. Game over at this point. Moving on to a match I was very pleased to call in the bookings. It was the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match. We got the dirt sheet. Morrison and Miz taking on the New Day's Big E and Kofi Kingston. And after a fairly good back and forth of really making you wonder who was going to win this, some big moves from New Day. And it was close. It was close, but they couldn't put Morrison away. Morrison was the one taking most of the pins. Then Miz gets the skull-crushing finale on Big E. Doesn't quite get the pinfall. Close, but doesn't quite do it. Then we get a bit more banter. Kofi Kingston looks like he's making the comeback. But then, referee's distracted. Morrison gets a chair shot in on Kofi to the gut, and Miz rolls him up, holds the tights. The Miz and John Morrison are SmackDown Tag Team Champions. Oh, I was proud of myself for calling this one. This should have happened at the Rumble. This should have happened a long time ago at this point. There was no purpose to delay it any further. The crowd itself was going crazy for Morrison and Miz. They have this new chant going that they loved every second of every day. It was great. That was one of the high points for me for this show. We have new SmackDown Tag Team Champions. John Morrison and Miz are great. They are reunited. They are delicious brothers. It's a good time to be a fan of John Morrison and The Miz. That was great. Moving on. Now to one of the last minute announced match. It was Angel Garza versus Humberto Carrillo, a rematch from Raw. I assumed 50-50 booking would take place, but after not really a great match compared to their one on Raw, Angel Garza just decided to win with another random roll-up, except this time he didn't even need to cheat. He didn't even hold the tights. Garza just straight up won. Humberto sitting there looking like it's the end of the world. I'm really not sure if the rumors are true about him getting released sooner down the line, because he ain't winning, like, at all lately. Not at all. I really don't know how this is supposed to boost up the morale for a tag team match they're scheduled for Raw. Garza and Andrade versus Rey and Carrillo. We'll see how this goes. I'm not 100% sure at this point what is really being planned for these guys. Maybe a four-way for the United States title at a WrestleMania? I just don't know. I just don't know. But we're moving on. Random match. Garza steals it. I'm a fan, but Humberto, you won me over recently, but now you're not winning anymore. We'll see where it goes from there. Moving on. Oh, and this is the part where I gotta remember the matches. I probably am not gonna get them in order, but let's see how I do. Raw Tag Team Championship match, I believe, was next. It was Seth Rollins and Murphy, and fair play to some points. I was wondering, can they get away with the Messiah gimmick in Saudi Arabia? The answer was a big fat no. No Titantron, no t-shirts, no real crowd mention. I'm not even sure if the announcer called him the Messiah or not. But Seth Rollins and Murphy versus the Street Profits, again, it was okay. Had you at the edge of your seat for a little bit of it, but then finally Rollins gets a cheap curb stomp in behind the referee's back, and I believe it was Buddy Murphy who actually got the pin on one Angelo Dawkins. Ford looked furious after it. Decent try, but I did not see Seth and Murphy dropping the titles here. Couldn't see it. This was the easiest one for me to call. Done and done. Mwah. Beautiful. Moving on. I believe next up was Dolph Ziggler and Mansoor. This was the last match announced out of nowhere for this show. And what more can I say? It's Mansoor in Saudi Arabia, the hometown boy. Although the crowd wasn't as loud as they normally are for him, the match itself was... it was okay. See, here's the thing. You had my expectations higher with the Mansoor-Cesaro match. That was pretty good. This was okay. It was okay. Expect a bit more once in a while from a good Ziggler match, but this one, it hit some of the balls. It didn't hit all of them. First off, Rude was with Ziggler, but got immediately ejected with him and Mansoor were pushing each other. And then Ziggler was in there alone, gets zigzag, Mansoor kicks out. A few flashy moves from Mansoor, and oh my goodness, I'm actually struggling to remember what the finish was. I'm pretty sure it was a moonsault, and Mansoor just got the 1-2-3, did another promo after, praising the crowd. It was okay. It was okay. I don't have too much negativity to say about this. The match was just kind of there, and you knew Mansoor was going to win. That was really it. Let's get through this, though. We're doing okay. We're doing okay. Now, WWE Championship match. Oh, was this a lovely disappointment or what? But I think everyone at this point should be ready for this. Brock Lesnar, Ricochet, a match I was actually expecting to happen at Royal Rumble happens here, and oh, it tanked bad. Oh my gosh. Lesnar gets in his suplexes, Ricochet gets zero offense, and then gets F5'd and Brock beats him. That was pathetic. The only hope is it's going to make it look even better if Drew can beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. You knew Ricochet wasn't going to win, but at the same time, you were thinking, well, are they going to wrestle, or is Brock just going to eat him? And Brock was hungry and just decided to eat him. But it's okay, because it's over, and our lives continue. Let's move on. Steel cage match was next. Roman Reigns, King Corbin. You wondered, is this really going to be it? Do they have any other tricks up their sleeves? Well, a little bit. Roman comes out with a chain, looks like he's going to padlock the door, and does. Corbin eventually gets the key out of Roman's pocket and gets the door open, but he cannot escape. They both try to escape over the cage. It's not working. We're seeing some of their flashy moves. Choke slams, deep sixes, Superman punches, maybe one or two power bombs in there. I'm not 100% sure. But then the steel chain that was used to lock the door comes into play, and Roman Reigns hits a Superman punch with the chain around his fist and actually got the pin. So Roman Reigns does beat Corbin in the cage by pinfall. But here's the thing. This is what's keeping me going. I have a theory, and some of you may have heard this theory, and I'm going to tell you all right now. Roman Reigns does not often win with the Superman punch, but on occasion he has. He beat Kofi Kingston in 2015 with that move. He also beat Jinder Mahal in 2017 with that move. And those two men later became WWE World Champions. Does this mean that Baron Corbin will become world champion sooner than later? It is a very loose theory, but it is one I have personally enjoyed to keep near the soul within my heart. Jinder Mahal did it. Kofi Kingston did it. Now Corbin has lost to the Superman punch. He is going to be world champion sooner or later. Makes me feel good. It's going to keep me alive. Let's move on. Now, the SmackDown Women's Championship match. This one, hit and miss. Bayley, Naomi. I was totally believed that Naomi was going to win this match. And to be fair, she came pretty close in this one. But in the end, it was the stupid attire that cost her. Bayley wrapped her long shirt around her leg. Naomi was trapped in the ground for a split second. Bayley gets her old Dirty Deeds finisher and pins Naomi. I don't have a problem with that. I was just really surprised they had Naomi lost. I thought this was going to be one of the easiest ones to call. But nope, they went with Bayley. Bayley's still winning all the admiration of the people. She's kept her championship. What's next? And Naomi coming back has definitely felt like less of a deal. She loses to Carmella. She doesn't get her shot right away. And now she finally does, but she loses. I don't know. Maybe she gets one more shot, and who knows? Maybe she can do it at Elimination Chamber. That was, of course, the show that she won her first championship. You never know. But no title change in Saudi Arabia when it comes to the Women's Championship. Bayley keeps it loud and proud. Let's get through this main event quick. Okay, Goldberg, Bray Wyatt, Universal Championship match. What more can I say? 4 spears and a jackhammer later, Goldberg won the Universal Championship. And I think a lot of people did see this coming. A lot of people knew that what they've done with Bray Wyatt in the past has been disgraceful. An amazing character, but you ruin him. The same now can be said for The Fiend. An amazing character, and I hate to say it, but at this point, ruined. He lost to Goldberg in less than 5 minutes. He is a kick-out beast. He's kicked out of stomps from Seth for days, but apparently 4 spears and a jackhammer was too much. Apparently, like he had his claw in for 2 times in the match, but didn't put Goldberg out, and Goldberg is champion. I don't even have a problem with Goldberg. It's not Goldberg. I'm a huge Goldberg fan, and I actually love that he's champion again. That's not my problem. My problem is WWE loves to throw shade at Bray Wyatt when they can easily. So what happens now? Does this mean that Goldberg versus Roman Reigns will happen at WrestleMania? Does The Fiend have a chance of getting it back? I don't know. All I know is this show had its crazy moments that nobody saw coming. Not for the whole show, but we're through it. Oh, boy. If you've lasted this long, thank you all so much for watching. Like, share, subscribe. I will see you all in a later video. Make sure to check out tomorrow, or if you're watching this Friday, today, for my Battlefront video. Putting in the work for those, having a lot of fun playing that game again. But Goldberg's the Universal Champion. It's 2017 all over again. Keep it real.